What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and some updates, some news, well, some breaking news really, and that is Kevin Malone, former general manager of LA Dodgers, is interested in buying Everton. He'll be led by an American consortium, which holds multiple billionaires. He did bid the first time during the process and has come in for a second time and is still interested in buying Everton. Why this is positive news, irrespective of anything, is the fact that there is another group that believe they can get the deal done, including the issues with 777. Because if Everton was unbuyable and the news has broke that it's due to the fact that they can't do a takeover because of this legal dispute between 777 and ACAP, clearly nobody would be bidding for the club. The facts are they're still interested. So that to me means it's a positive. And look, this could be exciting news for Everton, because Everton need to be going back in a positive trajectory. We were all very happy, all very excited over the last few weeks, and that has been damaged, it's fair to say. And the more that you look at the situation, a fairly strong transfer window so far, looking like it could be even stronger. There's real murmurs behind the scenes that Wilfred Gnonto could be joining Everton, which I know some people are excited about and some people aren't, but for me he adds real pace, so I'm excited by that. Then you've got players like James Rodriguez, which are out of contract and being linked with Everton. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But there's just an excitement around the place, and I do think it's important that we don't lose that. It was devastating news the other day. This freaking group absolutely looked like they were really keen on Everton and building these relationships with the fans. Then obviously it falls apart the same day as the world does. Then there's these images, this video of the kit on Friday, which, if I'm being honest, I actually think that's a disgrace, if I'm being honest. People paying £110, £75 for badges to fall off is an absolute disgrace. But hey, apart from that, everything was going well, and all of a sudden it feels like a bit of a damp squib. But with people being interested in Everton, it does clearly show that there is something behind the fact that they can probably sort out whatever this issue is, or potentially be a funder to Everton until that happens. And this is what I actually think the freaking group will do. They did exactly the same thing with Roma. They pulled the plug on the Roma deal. Somebody or something changed financially, so essentially they got Roma for a better price, and they went back in. And nothing would surprise me if that happens again with this. So, the initial shock on Friday, yes, was gutting, but I honestly think we might be all right. And I'm looking forward to what could happen. I am genuinely looking forward to the future. I don't see the point of us sitting there being negative about it and being downhearted about it. I don't see the point of us sitting there and thinking, what could be. I think it's really important that we strengthen our argument in terms of where Everton might be this next season. We're doing so much work around Goodison Park, and we've done a fantastic. It is phenomenal. Whoever put that documentary together for Seamus, it is marvellous. But the facts are, the club is, in my opinion, at this moment in time, looking positive, and I think we shouldn't move away from that. We can be the architects of our own destiny. When people have been saying, it's, and we will touch on this a little bit, but Onana being sold to Aston Villa shows how far Everton have fell off, and Aston Villa have risen since Mashiri come in. Because I think it was the season that they went down, and now they're playing Champions League football, whereas Everton are, it's roles reversal. So, I get all of them statements, but it also could be in 8 years' time that Everton are challenging for the Champions League as well. Because if another club can do it like Villa, then why can't Everton in a new stadium and the infrastructure, etc., etc. So I think it's very easy to be negative, but I do believe that we should be positive. I do believe that we should be excited, and I think news like this does help with that. All rumours believe that Jesper Lundstrom may well be an Everton player. However, there was news last night that he may not be interested in signing for Everton because we're not in Europe. We're not playing European football. And again, if that's the case, fine, move on. I think it's really important that we don't overplay these situations. But, the deal's agreed with Napoli. It's a loan deal with an option to buy. If he doesn't want to join the club, step away, move on, go and get someone else. Wilfried Gnonto, in my opinion, could be that solution. And people have been talking about Asprilla at Watford. Again, a very good, talented footballer. Again, another player that I'd have no issue watching at Everton Football Club. There's a lot of players in that championship that are very good. Johnny Rowe, for example, from Norwich. He's another good footballer. So there's plenty of players. Somerville at Leeds. Lots of good players. So I think it's really important that we just tamper the disappointment and we look to the future still. And I didn't do a match reaction to the Sligo game. And there was a couple of reasons for that. So one, I'd done a video earlier that day and I felt like the message in that was more important. But that Sligo game highlighted a couple of things to me. Firstly, I would actually argue we played more attacking football and we at least tried. Now it's our first pre-season game, we're going to be rusty. I don't ever look at the scorelines in pre-season, but what I will say is Chimiti looked hungry, he looked fit, he looked aggressive when he needed to be, and he looked like the centre forward that Calvert-Lewin could have been. And I know it's young to say that, but this is a kid that clearly has got good ball control, clearly got pace in behind, clearly can finish. None of those are negative traits, and a lot of those are what we've wanted for Calvert-Lewin. Obviously, Chimiti could develop that way. I'm not saying he's a finished article now, but I'm saying he could definitely get that way. He looked much more accomplished than anyone else on that pitch, in my opinion, at times. I thought Beto, I don't know what the equivalent Sligo Rovers team is to an English team. I don't know. I don't know if it's Championship, League One, League Two. I don't know. I don't want to be also disrespectful to the Irish League because, they play in front of thousands every week. They've got loyal fans. I'm not going to sit here and disrespect them, but the facts are they're not Premier League. They're not Premier League, and Beto looked like he could have played for them, and that highlights big issues for me in Beto. For me, if Beto was to leave this summer, I wouldn't be bothered. I think a replacement is needed, irrespective of what happens. I thought Mulpay again. I don't even want to see him in a blue shirt. I don't. So I find it difficult watching Mulpay. Especially with some of the comments that he made while he was at Brentford, etc. So, yeah, I struggle with that. But we are where we are in that situation. So the team need work. And Dye looked good. He looked like he could get in behind. He looked quick. He looked nippy. Tim Ibrahimovic, he looked good in the middle of the park. Looked very composed. So I was happy with that. I think, is it Dixon, the young right back? He's rapid. Absolutely rapid. Now, just need him to make sure that he was taking less touches because the ball was shooting from his feet every time he take a touch. He was a bit like Roadrunner, really. You just get the ball and boom, 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 boom. Really, really quick. But, yeah, I mean, overall, apart from the defending, I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. It was just a good session for fitness, and as Dyche said, they'd done 13 kilometres the day before, plus whatever other training they were doing. So, they clearly worked hard and clearly getting fit. And we've got some other games coming up. whether it be the Salfords or the Coventrys or Preston. This game's coming up, and then we finish off with a decent tie against Roma. So again, excited about that. So just think we should be positive. And going back to the transfer news, this Malone, this former LA Dodgers guy, he's not the only one. There's also been, I think they're called Vici or Vicky, investment firm, interested in buying Everton as well. And again, this has all come out since the takeover fell apart with Freaking Group. So they know the situation. Maybe they don't know the detail, fair enough, but they know that there's an issue, and that's still not putting them off buying Everton, or it's not putting them off entering discussions. And I honestly think if it was something drastically serious, I honestly think that it wouldn't happen. I still, in my heart of hearts, think it will be the Freaking Group. I don't know why. I just think it will. I really do think it will. And we will see. On outgoings today, Amadou Onana has formally left the club, joining Aston Villa for a fee of about £50 million plus add-ons. Onana is a player that I think will have and has got a lot of the attributes to be a top player. However, I hope, because I don't wish any player were ill when they leave, and I hope that he just tempers that almost PR machine that he is at times. Less of the cheering and all of that stuff. He's a talented footballer. He played really well in the Euros at times. Just go and have a good season at Aston Villa. Concentrate on your development. Concentrate on learning from players in that team like John McGinn, Youri Tielemans. Premier League experience, played at the top level for a long time. They're going to help him adapt. In the Everton midfield, being brutally honest, we don't have players like that who have, been in that position for years and can educate him like that. Garner no doubt did, but I think if he wants to tweak his game a little bit, then Garner's not the one to learn from. If he wants to be this ball-carrying centre midfielder, making pushing runs, etc., you probably, there's two decent footballers there in McGinn and Tielemans to teach him that. So no issues there, and I wish him the best of luck. And it does enable Everton to keep spending a little bit in this transfer window and getting a few players over the line, hopefully. Starting with Willy Gnonto, potentially being Lundstrom. And, I was reading today the rumours that strikers are on the priority if Calvert-Lewin and Beto does leave. So, fine with that. Other news, Branthwaite has been offered, or it appears he's going to be offered a better deal than what he's currently on. Some people were arguing with me in the comments probably about a month ago about this, and I think it's the right thing to do. I think you can't have a player being offered whatever amount of money Manchester United were probably offering him, and not do anything on a contract where I don't know how much he earns, but say it's 25 grand, might be 40, something like that. I don't think you can leave him on that, because his head could go. We want to have a good season next season. We want to push on. So I don't think it's unjustifiable to give him a pay rise, especially when you look at the players that have dropped off the book in terms of wages, and the players that he is so important to this defence. And next season, it's probably going to be absolutely massive. It really is going to be massive. I'd like to see a right back coming in as well. I'd love to see a right back. But yeah, I am happy. I am, as much as Everton are sort of being a bit weird behind the scenes, I am happy. A couple of things that I do want to mention is I have registered to potentially participate in the fans forum. I don't know the process. I don't know what happens. But your vote, if it gets to that stage, because I don't quite know how it all works, will be huge. So please keep noted on that. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was about ticketing today. So Everton announced a sort of tiered membership system for home games. Now, it's difficult for me to comment on people that sell their cards just on Twitter to anyone else, because I think you sort of do that at your own risk. You know, if you're turning up to a game and the person doesn't turn up with their season ticket for whatever reason, you know, maybe it's a blag or whatever, then that's your risk. But Everton obviously put that mechanism in place where you could transfer your season ticket to somebody else, or people could sell their season tickets on the website. Now, one thing I will say is I've never struggled to get a ticket on the website, and I've never struggled to get a ticket off anywhere else, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't think that's going to change. I just think it might delay things. So, for example, I think I only used the ticket website last season 5 times, and I went to 15 home games. So that tells you that I'll get tickets from other supporters clubs, I'll get tickets from friends, whatever it is, but I will get a ticket from wherever. The one thing I would say is if they start the credit, it's 15 memberships, 15 credits per membership. I think it is incredibly unlikely that they will sell out. And I'm not saying that because there's no people that don't have 15, go to 15 games on memberships. But those people will have spent at least 20, I think it works out something like 20 to 30 pound extra per game to go to those games, and sit probably in worse seats than you would if you have a season ticket. So I would be surprised if members do not get a ticket. The one thing I do think that Everton should have done, and I still think they should give people the option, is I know people that bought a membership this season simply to get tickets. You know, just to make sure they could go and watch Everton, go and watch games and all sorts. But there'll be plenty of fans now that won't have any matchday ticket credits, that probably won't be able to go to a game, yet they've spent £30 on a membership for no reason, apart from some discounts, a welcome pack, and being able to stream, which actually worked really well the other night, by the way. But being able to stream the home games in the pre-season fixtures. So those things I think are fundamentally wrong. You don't ask someone to pay for something and then restrict their access to everything after. I don't think that's right. I think that message should have come out towards the end of last season, and it does tell me that Everton haven't quite been prepared for maybe the volume of memberships that they've received. And obviously we already know that it was a record high of season tickets. So yeah, that doesn't sit great with me. But however, look, it doesn't matter because there will be more season tickets going into the new stadium. That is probably why the majority of people have joined the membership team in the first place. I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm more than happy being a member, hopefully getting a season ticket, because I think I'm in the top bracket now, and I'll be over the moon when I get one. So yeah, look, we keep smiling, we keep going. Let's not be negative about anything, and up the toffees, because you know, I believe that the future's bright, the future's blue, and let's be true to that. Spirit of the Blues.